What do you think your fate is? What's meant to be will be. Life will always find a way to make it happen. It might just take us a while to get there. I'm not sure if I want to believe in fate. The concept scares me. I constantly think about the butterfly effect, determinism, eternal recurrence, synchronicity, and other existential nightmares that plague me every day of my life. I don't like the idea that I'm not at least in some form of control, you know? I don't like the idea that when I pass on, this whole experience will loop back around and replay itself. What if I'm aware of it when it begins? What if I feel my previous self fading away bit by bit as this new consciousness takes over? I don't really believe in the afterlife, but if it were real, I'd want to see Mom and Dad again, but how would that be possible if they're both someone or something else already by now? Living out similar experiences again and again until fate decides that they finally got it right. That's the closest thing to hell that I can imagine. I don't believe that I am strong enough to go through all of this again. There's been a lot of moments in my life where I've completely given up. When my dad died, when my mom died, countless times where I'm lying awake at 3 AM at the orphanage or at my foster home, just wondering why the universe just hates me. I question myself every single day on what it is that even keeps me going, but it should be obvious, shouldn't it? I don't know why it isn't to me, but here I am regardless. Maybe my fate is to keep going. Maybe the life that I'm living right now is the life that I'm meant to be living. Welcome back to another 30-hour-long self-therapy session masquerading as a Let's Play. This time, we're digging into Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII was released in 1999. It was directed by Yoshinori Kitase, as you can see there. The same person who directed Final Fantasy VI and VII. He and the team had the impossible task of following up, well, you know. This one's a divisive old chap, isn't it? Seems that you've got to pick a side with Final Fantasy VIII. You either love it, or it's the worst Final Fantasy game imaginable. As usual, my opinions are more complicated than all that. My relationship with this game has been tenuous over the years, I think it's safe to say. This is the first Final Fantasy game that I played. My experience of it initially was actually watching someone else play it, and I didn't even know what a Final Fantasy was at that time. They were in Disc 2 already. They were doing the launch base segment specifically for when we get there, and they were stuck on the boss, but they got there eventually, and then they were at this bit where they were just running around this city looking for some bloke, and then they found him, and they went down into like the sewers, and that's as far as I saw. Later on my mom got it for me, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, it turned me into a Final Fantasy fan, so it must have been doing something right. I played the remaster again, the version that I'm playing now over Christmas break, and I like it. It's fine. I go back and forth on my opinions on it. The world though is really interesting. It's very well written. I'd say in terms of dialogue, it's more well written than Final Fantasy VII, and it has a better translation. I like the characters, I find them really interesting, and I find the main character quite relatable, which we're going to get into. The story, it's pretty good. It's also really dumb and really terrible at the same time. And the gameplay, it's pretty good, and it's also really dumb and terrible at the same time. Everything on paper works, but yeah, we'll explain that as we get it as we go as well in practice. And the music, well, it's a Final Fantasy game, isn't it? So the music's the best music ever. There's less use of sound fonts in the soundtrack this time. All of the instruments got replaced with synthesized instruments, which definitely gives it a different feel overall from Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. As always, Nobuo Uematsu totally nailed it. I think this is actually one of my favourite soundtracks of his. The final boss theme, when we eventually get there, is my favourite final boss theme of anything ever. And the themes of this game are spot on too, as always. It's got a pretty decent amount to say, and you know that I've got a lot to say about it as well. So let's get into it. We are going to start a new game. And we're definitely going to be using no random battles and whatnot. We won't use battle boosts, but we'll be using free time speed and no random battles for sure. And there's a very good reason for that, which we'll also get into. So there's our introduction to the game. So the song that was playing in the background, it's called Liberi Fatali, and the title is Latin and it roughly translates to fated children. And the concept of fate in this game it's like the main thing that this game's got going for it. It's like the main theme of the game is this concept of fate, which is going to keep coming back again and again and again and again. We'll get into it much later on, but just so you know, fate is like a big thing in this game. In terms of that opening cutscene though, it's kind of like a sizzle reel. It's like a mix between a scissor reel and like something that was actually happening. We saw our protagonist here, Squall, because he is a stormy cloud, as we're about to get into. We see him fighting another guy, and he loses. How are you feeling? My forehead hurts. No kidding. Looks like your eyes are focusing. You should be fine. Say your name for me. I am Squall. Why don't you take it easy in training? Next time you might not be so lucky. Tell that to Cypher. That's Cypher. Won't listen to anyone. Why don't you ignore him? I can't just run away. You want to be cool, huh? Well, don't get hurt in the process. Let's see. Your instructor is... Quistis. I'll call her now. Just wait here a minute. Quistis, come get your student. Yes, yes. His injury's not serious. It'll probably leave a scar. Right. Now please come by. Squall. So we meet again. So yeah, as you can see, the graphics budget's gone up a bit from Final Fantasy VII. I knew it'd either be you or Cypher. Come on, let's go. Today's the field exam. Squall, is there something on your mind? Not really. So funny. Funny? No, it's not that. I'm just happy. I feel like I'm beginning to understand my student a little, that's all. I'm more complex than you think. Then tell me. Tell me more about yourself. It's none of your business? That's some nostalgic music. This is Balam Garden. Such a beautiful place. Good morning, class. Let's start with today's schedule. There seem to be some rumours flying around since yesterday. Yes, the field exam for seed candidates will begin later this afternoon. Those not participating and those who failed last week's written test are to remain here in the study hall. Field exam participants will have free time until the exam. Just be sure you're in top condition. Meet in the hall at 1600 hours. I'll announce the team assignments there. Any questions? Oh, and Cypher? Do not injure your partner while training. Be careful from now on. Field exam participants, I'll see you all later. And Squall, I need to talk to you. So yeah, we're in school. It's not just like a normal school. It's a military school. We are essentially child soldiers. For all intents and purposes. I think like Squall's about 16. Like the 16-year-olds pretty much. You haven't been to the fire cavern yet, have you? You won't be able to take part in today's seed exam if you don't pass this prerequisite. I was going to go this morning, but Cypher... Oh, another really cool thing. You have a lot of internal monologue in this game because Squall's the kind of person that lives in his head. He answers his questions to himself in his head a lot. Not really. Then let's get going. If you're not too confident yet, you can review your studies at the study panel. I'll be waiting at the front gate. Come down when you're ready. You can access the study panel from your seat. I'm so jealous. Maybe I should take up that subject too. Should anything happen to Instructor Treppe, the Treppies will get you back. Alone with Instructor Trepp. I don't know if it's Trepp or Treppe. I've always said Treppe. Okay, bye. We need to go to our study panel and learn some about the world. So yeah, when you get like the transparent box, that's Squall thinking to himself. So we got 2 GFs, so these are our summons. We become very well acquainted with our summons because that's where we get all our power from. And I'll explain the junction system as we go. It's the most controversial thing about this game. We got Quetzalcoatl and Shiva. We don't get Rama, so Quetzalcoatl is he's the thunder summon for this game, like the lightning summon for this game. It's not Ramu because I believe the developers said that they didn't want Ramu to be the summon because they wanted all of the summons to be all of the Guardian Forces, or GFs as they're called. They wanted them all to be more animalistic, which is weird because you still have Shiva, who's like a person. Is it here? A lot of this... There we go. A lot of this game is told... A lot of the story in this game is told through logs like this, which is a problem, really. Like, I don't see it as that big a deal because... Like, it'd be nice if they could have got all this into dialogue and whatnot, but the problem that this game has is its story, it goes places, it gets really weird, and there's this twist. I'm not going to get into it all because I'm not going to bother spoilering it, but there's a twist later on that people always say it comes out of nowhere and it's really dumb, but it is set up. But the problem is a lot of what's going on in this game is set up through text dumps. Like we can learn about Balam Garden, which was founded 12 years ago, followed by Galbadia and Trabia Gardens. Again, I don't know if it's Galbadia. I've heard it pronounced Galbadia. I used to say Galbadia, but now I say Galbadia. And Trabia Gardens. Each garden has an administrator called Master and a headmaster. So we have a master and a headmaster, and Balam Gardens headmaster Sid. So there's Sid, who was the founder of the garden. Seeds are Balam Garden's mercenary force. Students 15 and older can participate in the written and field exams. They must pass both exams to become a seed. Seed members are paid by the garden according to their rank, so these are kind of like special forces elite operatives essentially. They conduct missions around the world for support, battle support and undercover. So we essentially have these gardens, there's 3 of them that are dotted around the world. They train seeds, and they send these seeds out into the world as like special forces, mercenary types. and they are noted for their skillful use of paramagic. Balam Garden researchers researches the use of GF in conjunction with paramagic. For this, Balam Garden seed members master the most powerful forms of paramagic, so we are the only garden that uses GFs currently. Monsters are creatures from the moon. They fall to Earth at regular intervals. This phenomenon is called the lunar cry. The monsters bred on the planet since the last lunar cry make up those roaming the planet at this time. The lunar cry phenomenon also transforms some animals into monsters. So just keep that in the back of your memory banks for now. The lunar cry becomes relevant much later on in the game, but all of the monsters that we see are essentially from the moon. So Balam is a country, and it's the world's smallest continent, known for its temperate climate and warm people. Balam Garden adds a school town feel. And there's a fire element GF inside the fire cavern, which is where we're about to go. Eventually. And there's just stuff on all the stuff. So a woman who has inherited the power of a sorceress. The origins of the sorceress go back to ancient times during Hein's reign. However, there is no factual evidence. Again, see, there's twists later on. If you just, again, commit this to memory, there's twists later on where people say, wait, this came out of nowhere. It didn't, it's right there. I don't remember how much of this is actually important or not. But yeah, we essentially have... we essentially have Final Fantasy Twitter right here. Then we got another web page, the Festival Committee. Thanks for looking at this page, but there won't be any updates for a while. That's because I, the Garden Festival Chair, will be leaving Garden. I did not strive to be a seed, and I won't even graduate. I devoted all my time to the Garden Festival, my passion. But in the end, there was no Garden Festival. That's because no one volunteered to help out. But I have only myself to blame. I alone thought I could pull it off. I'll be starting a new life. Goodbye, Balam Garden, Wimbley Donna. Can I put this in analog mode? Is that a thing? I need to do config anyway because we definitely need battle speed up, don't we? And we want this to be memory. I'm going to put A to B on wait just for now. Don't want the camera to move around too much. Also, you can get to the information section from here as well. I'm going to keep checking it every now and then. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! Bah! You okay? There. I'm fine. Sorry, I was kind of in a hurry. Oh yeah, hey, did you just come from that class? Is homeroom over? Oh no! This place is so much bigger than my last garden. Oh hey, hey! I just transferred here. Do you think you can give me a quick tour of this garden? Sure. I'll do it because it's a good way to introduce it for the video. We'll take the elevator to the first floor lobby and I'll show you the directory. Oh, also the characters follow you now. They don't just like morph into you. Hello. Oh hey, would you like to have these? My brother gave me these cards, but they're really not my thing. You can have them if you'd like. What? How do you play a card game? I think it'd be best to look at the card game explanation in the tutorial. I don't know much about it really. Do you want to play cards? Oh, I'm going to play cards with so many people. I really like the card game. Triple Triad, the mini game of this game, and it's like, it's so good. It's like the best mini game. I just like card games though. No one ever plays them with me, but I like them. I've been trying to get into Magic the Gathering, but yeah. Well, this is it. Bellum Garden is pretty big. It's a good idea to check where you want to go and select it here. I have a question. How do you use this? This is just a tutorial on how to use the map thing, which I always forget about. We live in the dorms, we eat in the cafeteria, but there's never any hot dogs. Front gate is where I need to go. The quad is where the garden festival is. The infirmary is where we just were. Dr. Kadawaki's the doctor. Training centre we're going to head into in a little bit. While I explain the terrible gameplay. Self of East Block is the library. I'm going to go there too. Actually going to go there next. Because there's a super secret thing in there. Headmaster Sid. That's about it. Anything else? Are you taking today's seed exam? Yeah. Then maybe I'll see you again later. I've already finished my training at my previous garden. I'm taking the seed exam today too. Good luck to both of us, huh? Thanks a lot. Oh, Squall, Miss Dr. Trepp is waiting for you at the front gate. What? You don't know where the front gate is? You're kidding me, right? There's only one gate. Head south from where we are. Ooh, I've played this game before. Years ago. Maxed out everything. Goodbye! So we're going to head to the library and then I'm going to try something. I'm also going to play... Today's seeds should have more brains than brawn. Hello. Student number 41269, Squall? You're that problem child. Don't you have the final seed exam today? You're making us Dr. Trepp wait? What are you still doing here? Going to the library. Yeah, that guy on the bench, we're going to be playing cards with him soon. Hello, small child. The following acts are prohibited within the library. Talking loudly, eating and drinking, running around. And also, avoid late returns. No fighting over seats. I have to go over the rules with the children next period. I'm very nervous. I hope they understand. We got an occult fan, which is a magazine that we can read. Mysterious monster death! Odell Burke of Timber was tending to his field when he found a dead monster after hearing a loud impact sound. Mr. Burke said that it occurred while he was making a fence with steel pipes. It's actually really interesting because there's like a dead monster and then there's two tracks going over him in the photo, and you get a lot of these things and you actually unlock something by... It's like a little riddle, you have to get certain items. And one of the items is steel pipes. I quite like it, it's clever. I have a question for you. Esthar was the country that was governed by this evil sorceress way back when, right? So, what happened to this sorceress? Did someone overthrow the sorceress? Did you learn about this in class? I think I cut class that day, so like, I have no idea what this sorceress is about. We'll talk more about the backstory later. I don't want... It's going to be pretty information heavy, this first one, but I don't want it to be too information heavy. The desks aren't squeaky clean! Those three from the library committee. I bet they were slacking off somewhere. I always thought there was a magic draw point in here, but maybe it's a hidden one. So like, did you read it? Oh, you mean that bloody murder mystery? Did you find out who the killer was? You know, you should read something more enlightening. So like, you found it boring? It was good, but what I'm trying to say is... So you liked it, and you'll like this one too. Oh, okay. Let's go get Quistis and learn about summons. And magics and junctioning and... yeah. As I said in the intro, on paper, the mechanics of this game are quite smart and clever. I wanted to be a Sin since I was little. It makes sense that I want to help out. I'll see you later, benchman! All I'm going to say about the gameplay is this game is incredibly grindy. Like, really grindy, and there's not really much way I can... I mean, you can avoid it by just not grinding, but... you can absolutely destroy the balance of this game. Like, totally. Like, I'm talking you can get Squall's final ultimate weapon before the end of Disc 1 broken. You can have endgame stats before the first... like, before the second boss, even. And that's what I'm gonna do, because I think it's really funny. It just requires a lot of grinding, but that's fine. It's not like I've got anything better to do with my life right now. You found a draw point! No one can draw, just like me. We're about to learn how, though. I have a few things to explain before we head off. GF gives us strength. The stronger the GF, the stronger we become. So here's a brief explanation on junctioning a GF. No. Everything okay up until now? You can always check back by accessing the tutorial from the menu. Once we get to the fire cabin, I'll explain how to junction magic. I'm gonna do it now, so we're fine. Oh, she doesn't come with us? Okay. It's fine. So, the GF, they learn abilities. This is where you get all your abilities from, right? So the GF learn abilities. We're gonna need card pretty early with this guy, to be honest. Just for the sake of grinding, because there's something else that we need to worry about as well. What's best to teach you? Giving them boosts is normally pretty good if you're going to use them, but... I think I normally... well, I grind it all anyway, but I normally give her the refines. So you can refine... so you can refine magic from items. But you can also refine items from cards. So if you play a lot of the card game, and get a lot of cards for like the late game enemies, then you can end up getting late game magic, like now, pretty much. That's what I'm going to do. And the reason you'd want to do that is because the way the junctioning system works is... okay, so I'm not explaining this very well. 1 second. Let's remove everything. So, you see how we've got our stats here? And then you've got like little lines next to them? What you do is you attach magic to your stats. So you get your abilities from your GFs. So for example, Quetzalcoatl allows us to junction magic to magic, and he can learn HP junction and vitality junction. You can also learn magic plus 20, etc, etc, etc. Shiva learns strength and vitality junctions, but she already knows spirit. So what you can do They also learn like active abilities that you can use as well. Which is why when I come out of here, I'm going to give myself magic, GF, and draw right now. So cast magic, I'm probably going to give item. But what I normally do is GF, draw, item, because I very rarely cast magic in this game. And the reason for that is, if we just give Squall Cure here, magic does not use MP. MP does not exist in this game. Magic is a consumable, it's a consumable item, essentially. It's charges. You get up to 100. And this is where the grindiness comes in, because you essentially draw magic from monsters. And then every time you use it, it obviously goes down by 1, then you have to redraw the magic. But also, if I junction cure, so I don't have enough cures right now to raise the stats. But say for example this raised the stat to 7, if I use the cure spell, it'd probably drop me back from 7 to 6, if that makes sense. So you kind of get penalised for using magic, which is why the system sucks. Again, on paper, it makes sense. In practice, it just kind of sucks. So what we're going to do... Oh, also, another thing that sucks. This is something I really don't like in this game. Let's give it a save. To level up, you need 1,000 experience points. That's it. You only ever need 1,000 experience points. So you level up incredibly quickly on this game. And the enemies also scale with you. So the more you level up, the harder the enemies get. Except for the bosses. So you generally, to make this game a bit more palatable, is you kind of want to keep your level really low. So I'm actually not going to be doing grinding in the traditional sense. So that's the infamous monster. Thought I was about to die. Don't be silly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into here, I'm going to stock up on sleep spells, 100 of, then I'm going to leave. I'm not going to kill anything, because I don't want to level up too quickly. So what I'll do is I'll draw all the magic out if I ever actually get a fight. I'll kill... I don't think I'll kill any of them actually. So you can stock the magic. Which is why I'm glad there's a speed up. And why I've got the cursor on memory, because I'm just holding X now. I'm just going to keep doing this. Until I've got 100 sleeps. I'm going to go through a lot of potions doing this though. Like, I'm quite critical about the gameplay of this game, but on paper it makes so much sense. Like, it sounds like a good system. It's just in practice, it isn't. Because this is boring. Imagine this, but you can't speed it up. That was my childhood! You have to do this with everyone as well. Which is why I kind of wanted to get Quistis first. Come on, Squall, don't die! You only gotta get 100 potions, 100 sleeps, and then you can run away. So you're probably wondering, Amy, if you're not getting EXP or ability points or anything, how are you going to learn new abilities? Don't worry about that. Let me worry about that. I'll explain that later. So we got 100 sleeps now, so I can just junction that to magic and level up to 18, which is like double already. Now I'm gonna cure myself. There we go. I'm gonna go back this way so I can save it. I like to save it a lot because I don't trust anything ever anymore. Also, there's giant T-Rexes in here. See? I'm gonna run away from this guy. He can kill you. I want to fight him. I'm not messing with him yet. You'll do. What else do you have? Oh, silence isn't as useful. I'm less interested in silence right now. Okay, let's continue on with the game for now. Or at least, slightly. I'm gonna get outside, at least. But we are now set for our first battle, to be honest. Because we can use Shiva. I will use the GFs, to be fair. I never cast GFs, like, ever. Because you just kind of don't need to. There's never any call for it, really. Because you just... Once you get strength, like, you can pretty much max strength out really early on. And then you just auto-attack your way to victory for the entire rest of the game. Which is why I'll probably play most of this game with the encounters turned off, to be honest, and just one-shot the bosses. Which I know doesn't sound very fun, but trust me, it will be. Let's go! So I want to remove Shiva. And give Shiva to you. Now I've got someone else with item. I'm actually, just for the first battle, I'm actually going to give you magic. Just for the fire cannon, to be honest. Oh, look at all this low poly glory. Interesting thing about this game, if you stick to the road, I don't think you get random battles. So the fire cabin's over here. Do you have a map? We do have a map. So that's the world map. Yeah, there's the fire cavern, but we've got more important things to do. We need to head to the beach to get some blizzard spells. Also you. The R1 is the trigger, so when we do eventually attack with Squall, if you press R1 when he attacks, you get a critical strike. You also get more magic. You can draw magic faster the higher your magic stat is. But just imagine this game and you can't speed it up. This is why people don't like this game. I attribute this part of the gameplay to the exact reason why they don't like it. It's so grindy. I'm just used to it at this point because I played this game a lot when I was little. Like, the whole game isn't like this, it's very much just early on. I don't need 100 scans, so that'll be okay. You're being a completionist about it, you get 100 of everything, but I'm not doing that. That'll do. A nice trick you can have though, if you go in here you can fight caterpillars, which are these boys. Big chunky caterpillars, and what you can do is you can draw from them cure, but you can cast it. That's thunder, I think. And I think the potency of their magic depends on their spirit stat. Because they kind of have a defense against draw magic. I think their spirit stat is like a defense against it, and then there's some RNG involved as well. There's a lot of RNG in this game. Yeah, I tend to just come into this battle, fight one of these, steal all their cure magic, and then leave. I might actually kill this guy because he drops a spider web which you can use for Quistis's limit break. The way limit breaks work on this game is a bit different as well. I kind of prefer it because it breaks the game. Instead of having a bar that goes up every time you take damage, every time you're in critical, every time the character's in critical, so their HP's in yellow, there's a chance that you will get to use your limit break. But you can just skip the turn until it pops up. Which means you can just constantly do limit breaks over and over and over again. Just to break the game a little more. Let's heal up. And get out of here! One more time! We only need to do this one more time. We need to head over to the beach. To fight the Fastiticalons! You might remember those from my Final Fantasy 16 playthrough, where I complained about how Fastiticalons are fishes, not giant turtles. This is why! Here they are! Get out of here! Okay, we need to heal. And then we're ready. So let's turn the encounters off. Head into the forest. So we can heal up. Slow it down a bit. Wait, she didn't max out Cure? Oh well. I actually drawed Cure to use them anyway, so... How many did she have? 72? Nowhere near. No, so... So you can, like... You can share magic between characters and whatnot as well. I like to have Restore Attack indirect. Cool! What's best to go on her spirit? Cure, I guess, for now. Are the Alucard planes? Oh, the Alcord planes. Uh-oh! Oh, it's just one of you. Okay. You can fight T-Rexes here too. T-Rexes are not fun to fight at the start of the game. Alright, let's save it. Let's continue on through the game. I've explained all this already. Don't worry about it. I'm ready! So what she was about to explain to us there is, I think it's status. You go to scroll status. You can actually automatically do the Gunblade, but it doesn't always work. Also, Quistis' Limit Break. Quistis is cool. She's the one I normally use. Quistis' Limit Break, she learns enemy skills. She's like a blue mage. I'm ready! Instructor number 14, Quistis Trap. Select a time limit, one suited to your abilities. Challenging, yet reasonable. 10 minutes seems challenging, yet reasonable. My job is to support you in battle. Everything else is up to you. Fine. It's quite a short dungeon, this one. You know, the boys often choke on this test when I come with them. I guess my charm makes them nervous. Whatever. That's his first of many whatevers. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to keep you relaxed, that's all. I think this draw point is fire, so we don't want to... Yeah, we already have all those. Yeah, you'll come to know, I know this game like the back of my frickin' hand. I think I know this game. This is like the Final Fantasy game I know the best, I think. It's 1 and 10. It's definitely the one I've played the most. I guess I was right. You and Cypher are in a class of your own. You both have amazing strength and potential. Fight me! Are you ready? You seem confident enough. Fight me, Ifrit! Let's get Shiva out. So the GFs, they have their own HP pool as well. So if you get attacked while you're charging them, the GF takes damage instead. Yeah, you get really bored of watching these GFs. Which is why I tend not to use them very much. They do look cool though. They just take so long. They have Shiva? Blizzard does more damage. Also on the battle system, they fixed something for Final Fantasy VII. There's no like weird pauses in between them using attacks anymore. So the battles are a lot smoother, a lot more snappy. I like it. It's one of my main criticisms of Final Fantasy VII, the original. The battles, they take so long. Just so much waiting around for like animations and things. Which is ironic, watching this for the second time, but you know what I mean. Everything's just a bit snappier, just a little bit smoother. Not bad for a human. Impudent humans! Or impudent humans! The boss seems so good though. So yeah, this is like the only boss in the game we'll fight properly. Everything else will kill in like 2 or 3 hits. At first when I was planning this out, I thought I was going to play it properly. And then I remembered you kind of can't. Because just playing the game, you end up breaking it anyway. Otherwise it's just really frustrating if you try and do it properly. For me to allude to a human, very well, I will join you. No experience, you don't get experience from bosses. We got Ifrit's card, which we need. We get 20 AP, which is handy. And we also get Ifrit. There isn't much time, but let me go over this real quick. Good, you got yourself a GF. If you junction a GF, you'll be able to use the Elemental Junction ability. I'll explain that in a bit. So essentially what she's saying is... I need to actually... First of all, first thing I need to do, really important, you need to be level 10, first of all, so you can have ammo refined, but also I'd probably give you fire magic refined first. Having strength plus 20 is handy as well. I mean, it's all handy, but yeah, we'll do that one first. So we've got to do a bit more grinding now. Which I'll do. What I'll do is there's a lot of grinding, but I'll explain in a bit. We'll get back first. Let's get out of here first. Okay, let's save it. So, this is where I'll cut the episode for this one. What I'm going to do on the next episode is I'm going to do a lot of grinding for the initial stuff, and I'm going to be playing a lot of the card game. So I'm going to put all that in like its own little bottle episode, purely so you can skip it if you're not interested in seeing that. If you are interested in seeing a lot of the card game, which, you know, it's fun, it's worth a watch. It's just going to be a lot of it, and I mean a lot of it. So if you are interested, then I look forward to seeing you next time. Otherwise, I'll see you when we're back to continue the rest of the plot. Bye bye!